Ever wondered how Netflix knows exactly what movies you'll love? In this video, you will learn how to build a personalized video recommendation system using Amazon Personalize. Let me quickly walk you through the steps we will follow in today's demo. First, we will go through prerequisites outlined by AWS in the documentation. Then we will import the data, train a recommender, and finally get predictions. First prerequisite is to prepare data for Amazon Personalize. For training a video recommender, Amazon Personalize requires data to follow a specific schema. I use the sample Jupyter notebook provided by Amazon Personalize to convert movielens dataset into the format that Personalize expects. Let's take a look at the data. Amazon Personalize requires an interactions dataset to contain user-item interaction pairs. It also requires time of interaction as well as event type. Each line in this sample is a movie watch event by the specified user. You can also optionally provide user metadata. As you can see, the user metadata field provided has gender as an additional attribute. Similarly, you can provide item metadata as well. In this case, item metadata contains genre, year, and creation timestamp. After preparing the data using Amazon's Jupyter notebook, I uploaded the data files into an Amazon S3 bucket. Amazon Personalize needs a service, IAM role, that has permissions to use Amazon Personalize, as well as read the data to be used for building a recommender. As you can see, I have created an IAM role that Amazon Personalize service can assume. I created an IAM policy that gives complete access to Amazon Personalize service. I created another IAM policy that provides read access to an S3 bucket. I attached both the permissions to the IAM role. I also put an S3 bucket policy to ensure Personalize can access the data for training a recommender. I have completed all the prerequisites, and now I am ready to use Amazon Personalize to train a recommender. First step is to create a domain dataset group. Let me specify a name for the dataset group. Let me choose Video on Demand as a domain and create the group. Now that I have created a dataset group, let me import the data into the same. Let me start with interactions data. Since I am not using Data Wrangler, let me proceed with the default option. Let me specify a dataset name and a schema name for this data. Since my schema definition matches exactly what you see on the screen, let me proceed to next section. Let me specify a job name. Here is the S3 location in which I have uploaded the interactions data file. Personalize needs to import data from S3 using a service role. Let me specify the service IAM role I created earlier. Let's initiate the import. Let's go ahead and import users and items metadata as well. Let's start with items data. Let me specify a dataset name and a schema name. Although Personalize populated the default schema requirements, our schema includes an additional column called year. I customized the schema definition to include the same. Let me specify a job name and an S3 location of the items data. Let's click Start Import. Now we need to import users data. For users data, we will follow identical steps and import the data from the S3 bucket. Let's specify job name, URL, and IMARN, and then initiate the import. Looks like all three datasets were imported successfully. We are ready to perform step 3. In this step, we will train a recommendation engine using the dataset that we created in the previous step. Let me quickly talk about different kinds of recommenders you can train for the video recommendation use case. I'm sure you have come across recommendations on Netflix based on a specific movie you might have watched recently. On Netflix, while browsing details of a movie, you see a section called More Like This. Choose this option to train a recommender that returns identical movies. Choose this option to train a recommender that provides most popular entries. Top Picks for You trains a recommender which returns personalized recommendations. For this demo, Top Picks is the recommender I will train. You can choose this option to train a recommender that returns trending movies. Let me ask Personalize to include items metadata in the results. We are ready. Let's train a recommender. While Amazon Personalize is training a recommender, let me quickly share what's going on in the backend. Personalize takes the data, extracts features, selects appropriate algorithm based on your use case, and starts training a model. Personalize also performs hyperparameter tuning and deploys the optimal model so that you can easily interact with the same via an API. Model is ready, and we can now move to the fourth and the final step. Let's see details of the Top Picks recommender. While performing the training, Personalize uses 90% of the user's data for training and keeps remaining 10% users' data for test purposes. In this section, you can see the performance of the model on the test data. Let's test the recommender by providing it a user ID. Let me also ask Personalize to return additional metadata. Before we take a look at the recommender's suggestions, let's quickly see what kind of movies this user likes. User clearly likes comedy, drama, and little bit of adventure. Let's request recommendations. I think the genre returned by Personalize matches the user's taste in movies. Let's see the details of the top 10 recommendations provided. I see some great suggestions such as Jumanji and The Lion King. These might resonate with the user based on their watch history. I tried some other user IDs as well, and the output seemed to fit. I highly recommend trying Personalize yourself for a use case appropriate for your business. Congratulations! You just learned how easy it is to train your own recommendation system with Amazon Personalize. If you have questions, please feel free to leave a comment.